Hello, welcome back to the Marine Beginner series for Fragtrade. So I'll just give you a quick update in this video about my next steps and more specifically about putting microbes into the tank. So the first microbe or the first thing I'm looking to put in the tank is Cytoplankton. So it's a type of plant. It's useful for corals. Corals sort of filter feed, and while they're filter feeding, cytoplankton is one of the things that will give those corals nutrients. So cytoplankton is something that's been around for hundreds and hundreds of millions of years, since the Jurassic period. They've sort of grown and developed. Originally they were sort of in the oceans before the Earth's atmosphere had any oxygen in. And what they did was sort of photosynthesize and develop, and they actually were a big part of increasing and changing the Earth's atmosphere to what we can see today. So the cytoplankton is a pretty crazy species, and it sort of had a massive impact on sort of life on Earth as we know it today. So originally it was a type of bacteria, but it sort of evolved and now it's classified more like a plant, although it does sort of multiply similar to bacteria where it sort of splits in half. But cytoplankton is also eaten by things like shrimp, as well as corals. It's eaten by the shrimp, snails. I think in the wild, jellyfish eat cytoplankton as well. So it's like, yeah, it's massively useful, and it's almost like the first bit of organic material within the food chain. So you've got like microbeans as well, like rotifers and your copepods and braille shrimp, which are other microbes that you could get in the sea or in your fish tank, and they consume cytoplankton as well. So sort of everything that you see in the ocean, it's at some point is somewhere in the food chain, it's probably been eating that cytoplankton. So it is quite interesting because cytoplankton actually produces more oxygen than the Amazon rainforest. I think it generates about 50% of over 50% of the oxygen on the planet from photosynthesis. Well, anyway, that's enough talk about cytoplankton for now. I'll put a link in the description on some websites where I've been researching it. But the first thing I need to do is actually get a hold of some. So I'm going to just take a look on the Fragtrade website now and see if we can pick some up. All right, so here I am. I've just gone to fragtrade.co.uk, and as you can see here, we've got the home page. I'm just going to pop over to the live foods tab. There we go. Let's have a look. So we've got cytoplankton. We've got 200 mils for £4.49, or we've got 125 mils for £3.49. Because mine's only a small tank, I think I'm just going to go with this 125 mil one. So let's just add that to the basket. Yeah. Let's just quickly see what else they've got in the live food section. Rotifers, Cheeto algae. Oh, they've got 125 mils of rotifers. They've got algae fertilizer. Oh, that's useful. Algae fertilizer, that's for if you want to grow your own cytoplankton. Let's have a look. I think what I'm going to do as well is just pick up some rotifers for a future video. And then I'll be able to add them to the tank as well. So I'm just going to have a quick look in the cart. There we go. Oh yeah, I can see we've got our Fragtrade points as well. So I'll get 71 points if I order this. That looks pretty good. Yeah, £1.49 shipping. That looks all right. So I'm just going to proceed to the checkout now. I'm just going to enter my information and order it, and then I'll speak to you in a couple of days when I've got my new cytoplankton and rotifers.
2 days later.
Hello, so here I am just in front of the tank. It's a little bit awkward because I've got the sort of my camera balancing on some books, but I'm just going to quickly show you the Cytoplankton. So this is what came from Fragtrade. And let's just get this little measuring cup. What I'm going to do is start off by putting in around 10 mils every single day. Because the idea is I get a sustainable cytoplankton culture going in. So I'm just going to measure 10 mils. So that's about 10 mils there. And then I'm just going to pour it into the chamber here where you put the food. So as you can see, that's going into the tank now. That looks like plenty of cytoplankton in there for now. On another note, I'm just going to give you another quick tour around my tank. So as you can see there, I've moved the wave maker based on the advice of one of our watchers. So it was sort of in that corner, but I moved it into that corner just so it sort of circulates the water around the tank in like a washing machine motion. So it sort of comes out there, it goes around, and then it gets pushed back into the sump. So hopefully that should improve the filtration a little bit. In terms of the protein skimmer, I did empty that this week as well. So I sort of saw lots of bubbling coming up, sort of coming up this chimney and going into the collection chamber, and the water was sort of like a yellowy colour, and you could sort of see bits of debris, or what looked like bits of maybe like dead organic material or something. And then in terms of the temperature, as you can see, it's pretty much been stable at around 26 degrees. So all in all, it's looking pretty good. And soon I think it'll be ready for rotifers, copepods, and maybe some snails or a hermit crab or something like that. There's just one more thing I want to sort of chat about in this video as well. Just so it's clear, so the goal of the cytoplankton is to get it sustainable in the tank. So I sort of want the cytoplankton to photosynthesize and multiply, so then in the future I won't need to put more cytoplankton into the tank. And the way I'm going to do that is basically dose the tank around 10 mils a day for a week, and then I'm going to give it a week rest and then put it in 10 mils a day for a week. And I'm hoping that's going to start making the cytoplankton sustainable within the tank. So things like rotifers and copepods could start to become sustainable once cytoplankton is, because obviously they eat the cytoplankton, and then also the cytoplankton will be useful to feed the corals. But obviously it's much better, I think, for me to have it sustainable, so I don't need to keep buying more in, and I feel like it's more natural as well, because it's more like an ecosystem rather than an artificial body of water that you have to keep adding stuff to. So I hope that clears it up for everyone. And if you like my series, you can always subscribe to Fragtrade to view the rest of the videos. I think you might see some videos of Matt and Michael maybe soon. So if you want to see their videos, I would recommend subscribing. And if you could give my video a like, or if you have any questions, you can give me a comment, or if you've got any suggestions, you could give me a comment. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye.